Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Family Law class. And today the time going to teach the acknowledgement and the legitimacy under the Islamic law, or we can say the Muslim law, because we don't say the Islamic law because everything is not followed in the Islamic way. That's why we will say the Muslim law. Yeah. Now anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen so that it could be known to me that I am with you and you are with me and both are traveling the same boat. Hurry up. Now you can read what I posted on the screen.
Good evening. Acknowledgement and legitimacy under Islamic law.
Mm-hmm.
Sir
Good.
Dr. M. Hussain.
Yes, MS Hussain. Okay. Yeah, the acknowledgement yesterday I told you that what is acknowledgement? Can you give an idea? What is meant by acknowledgement? Any
If
idea?
if 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 a Muslim father or he acknowledges a child that he is the son of he is the son, then it is called acknowledgement.
Why he has to acknowledge it? Yes.
If marriage has not taken place, if it is then he acknowledges marriage of his the child's mother and him. The marriage has not taken place, then he acknowledges that he is a son or daughter of him. Then that is called acknowledgement of paternity.
There that I told you that when there is a doubt, there is no other thing, but the child is begotten when they are validly married, or they are deemed to be the valid wife and husband, and the confirmation that would like to give by the father, no, the child is mine, and that's why he acknowledges it. But when the child begotten, as when they are the valid wife and husband, number one. Number two, if it is known that the child is begotten or conceived by the other people, and every village people know, every person know there, at the time the father cannot acknowledge it, because the child was conceived by somebody else. The seed is somebody else. But there is no such a dispute would be there. They are living together, and the child is born to him when they are legally bound to be wife and husband. At that instance, to make the clarity to the people, to the public, to the court, to the society, he acknowledges it. And not merely orally he can just say, but intentionally and practically, seriously, he will acknowledge, yes, that he is a child. In the public he will make it declare, and he does everything as his own child. At the time the child acknowledged by the father, automatically he will get the all the rights. What the rights that child will having? Yes. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't, say
Inheritance,
pass on.
inheritance, the parentage.
Why parentage? Parentage will be made by the father only. Inheritance, well and good. What is the next? I told you total three.
Inheritance. Pass on, sir.
Maintenance, guardianship, all the other things. He will be entitled for the inheritance, okay. And suppose if the father is left over the maintenance, if nothing would be there over there, then you will be appointed as a guardian when the father is no more. Whatever the a child, a married, a valid child, a legal child, a legitimate child will get all that will be conferred to the even acknowledged child also. So that was the thing which I want to say to you. Okay, let us see the parentage in the Muslim law. We already dealt it, but here we will make it more in detail. The parentage is in the relation of parents with their children. With the mother, with the mother, yes.
Maternity. Maternity.
Repeat.
Maternity is a legal
Yes, the
relationship
father.
between maternity is a legal relationship between the mother and the child.
What about the father?
Paternity is a legal relation between the father and the child.
Yes. Then both the maternity and the paternity is related to the legitimacy of the child. The concept of the legitimacy of children is the direct outcome on the basis of the concept of marriage. The rule is that children born within the lawful wedlock are legitimate children for the man and his wife. As a corollary to this, the children born outside the lawful wedlock are illegitimate. Out of wedlock means not in the tie of the wedlock, called out of wedlock. Yes, now we see the maternity in the Muslim law. The maternity is not the dispute. Only the paternity is the dispute. Am I right? Maternity is not the dispute, only paternity is the dispute. Because everybody knows who has given the birth to a child. Are you following me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And at that time, it will be clearly mentioned that he is the mother of this so and so. Only dispute comes with the father. Because it's only the mother knows who is the right father. Am I right?
Yes.
And that is the suppose if it is a promiscuous lady. Promiscuous means having BBC with the different people in a day in many times. At that time, it will be doubtful to her also if who has the seed conceived in her womb. That is a fetus. Now let us see the Sunni law that we made it clear with the illegitimate or illegitimate child, then the child will be inherited from the mother in the Sunni law. And we discussed yesterday. Under Shia law, we also discussed what is the position in Shia law. Yes. Neither the paternity nor the maternity will get it. Neither the paternity nor the maternity will get it. Illegitimate child. So the child will not inherit, not belongs to anyone. The child who is born out of a lawful marriage, only that woman will be her mother, and so only birth is not sufficient to establish the maternity under the Shia law. It has to also be proved that the birth was as a result of the lawful marriage. Lawful marriage, that should have to make it out. Suppose sometimes they will go and to the church, they will exchange the garland. They go to the what is a temple, they will also exchange the garland or exchange the rings, and they will with the without informing the many people, they will get married over there, and she will be conceived, and they are living together as a wife and husband, and there is no dispute would be there for that regard. But if anybody would climb over there, then the acknowledgement is a very important factor which comes only in the Muslim law. Regarding the Shia law is concerned, they said it has to be also provided the birth was the result of the lawful marriage. All other outcome will be treated as illegitimate children. So the illegitimate child under Shia law can inherit neither from the father nor from the mother. That is the difference between the Sunni law and Shia law when the acknowledgement is concerned. In the Sunni law, the illegitimate child can inherit from the mother, but under Shia law, when it is doubtful that at that time neither he can inherit from the father nor he can inherit from the mother, unless until he will be acknowledged by the father. Okay, the paternity in the Muslim.
Sir, voice is getting break. Voice net సరిగ్గా లేదనుకుంటా. Voice is frequently breaking.
See, I am having the Wi-Fi facility, and my internet is very good. I checked it; it's not disconnected. Now I am holding the mic in front of my mouth, so there is no problem. It be there. It is the problem with your net, the mobile data. When the mobile data is not appropriate over there, and you will get the break of voice. So that would be there. If at all it will be continued over there, it will be only for the fraction of time, and later on that you will get the voice in clear manner. Is it clear?
Sir,
Can I proceed?
Sir.
Okay. So it can be said that a child will be legitimate only when the marriage is a valid, that is a Sahih marriage, and the Fasid marriage irregular. But if the marriage is void, no father-child relationships come into the existence. Under the Muslim law, a child be legitimate. Number one, must be born during the lawful wedlock. Number two, must be conceived during the lawful wedlock. What is wedlock?
Marriage.
It is a marriage ties a day wedlock. So let us see the Habibur Rahman Chowdhury versus Altaf Ali Chowdhury case law. To state expressly, I quote, a son be legitimate must be the offspring of a person and his wife, or a person and his slave. Any other offspring is offspring of the zina, that is illicit connection, and can't be legitimate. Can't be legitimate. So now, if the child is born to the wife, or if the child is born to a slave, means female slave, at that instance, if the father acknowledges it, then the child is not offspring of zina, means adultery. And illicit connection, if there is a illicit connection would be there, and there, then he can't be a legitimate one. So the condition says a legitimate must be offspring of a person and his wife, means they are legitimately married people, or a legitimate with a person and the slave is a woman's slave. Any other string, it's even a woman's slave also is a valid, because at the time the slaves are there, both men and women. Even the master, means the man, can have the BBC with a slave, a woman also, who is working in her, and of course she will also equally be treated as if that she is the married wife. In Urdu or in Hindi, we will say bandi, means a female slave. So they do also have a BBC with a bandi. If the child will born over there, that also a valid child, not illegitimate child. But other than this one, they say illicit connection and they are not can't be legitimate. And such children cannot be acknowledged. That is clearly mentioned in the Habibur Rahman Chowdhury versus Altaf Ali Chowdhury. So the marriage between the parents of the child may be established by, number one, direct proof of marriage. If there is some proof is there, the exchange of the garlands, exchange of the rings, or any other such a agreement would be there, it's valid. And indirect proof of marriage, yes, the father agreed, the mother agreed, and they made that okay, let us they be the wife and husband, but there is no grand function. At that time, it is the indirect proof of the marriage by the presumption of the prolonged and continuous cohabitation. So, if the 10 years are there, 20 years are, 15 years are there many years are passed over there, they are living as a husband and wife, nobody questioned them also. Are you following me? Yes? Are you getting my voice?
Sir, it is frequently breaking, sir.
Yes. Frequently, sometimes because I'm getting the notion, there is some problem in the signals, it is coming over there. At the time, the break would be there. Otherwise, it will be continued. Because to not to give the less burden, more burden, that's why I stopped my video. So the signals will not be bifurcated. The signals now only for the sharing the file as well as recording. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I appreciate. So now the question is, the presumption prolonged and continuous cohabitation would be there naturally at the times also. If you acknowledge this, it is enough. The acknowledgement of the child is as one's legitimate child. So the acknowledgement, a provision is given in the Muslim law so that the child will not be treated as extramarital child, and all the rights will be and duties will be imposed on the child also, as if that he is their real child, our own child. So legitimacy by the direct proof of marriage, when the valid marriage between the parents of the child is established, then the child born of such a marriage will be presumed to be legitimate. The Muslim lawgivers laid down the following three rules for the presumption of the paternity when the direct of the marriage between the man and the mother of the child is available. Number one, a child born within 6 months after the marriage, we already discussed. The child will be treated as illegitimate unless the father acknowledges the child. If the father does not acknowledge the child, if a boy or a girl is born, and that will be 6 months after the marriage, then that child will become a extramarital child if the father will not acknowledge. Number two, a child born after 6 months from the date of the marriage, the child will be presumed as a legitimate child unless the father declares and claims the child. If after the 6 months of marriage was there, yesterday that we discussed, yes, if the father claims it that he is my son or my child, that is enough. A child born after the dissolution of marriage is illegitimate. Of course, if the dissolution of marriage is made there, of course, the time period is passed over there, then it will be legitimate because for conceiving, even 1 month is enough for the conceiving because of one tour period, it will be enough. So even woman will be conceived after the 9 month, she will give the delivery at least after 8 months, because 1 month goes in the conceiving. Of course, that is a confirmation. Then it will take the another 7 to 8 months. The total 9 months. If it is happened, if the dissolution of marriage comes, but after the dissolution of marriage, after 1 year or 2 years, if the child is born, that means the child will be the legitimate child. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, this is the repetition again. At the Shia law, 10 months they say, and the Hanafi law, they say 2 years, and the Shafi'i and Maliki law, they say 4 years. But these are all not necessary because Section 112 of the Indian Evidence Act will clearly says over there, with the 280 days of the dissolution of marriage, provided the mother remains unmarried at the time, the child will be presumed to be the illegitimate child. So this thing also we dealt it in yesterday class. Then we will see what is the Sibt Muhammad versus Muhammad case law. It was held by the High Court that evidence is applicable to the Muslims also, even though it supersedes the Muslim law. What the Muslim law say? 10 months. Another school of say 2 years. Shafi'i and Maliki school say 4 years. But now the Muslim will prefer the Section 112 of the Law of Evidence Act. So, Bhaktullara Unnara, are you with us?
Thumbs
Yes,
up.
sir.
Okay, now because I want to see whether you are hear me or not, read what I highlighted on the screen. I said read what I highlighted on the screen. I could not hear your voice. Read what I highlighted on the screen. I don't know whether you are hearing me or not. Yeah, there is some problem because every time it is showing some problem is there. But net is very much present here. I checked. Worship net is very much clear. Please read what I highlighted, what I shown on the screen.
In Ismail Ahmad versus Moim Bibi 3, husband got married to his wife's sister, which is irregular marriage. Therefore, the child is also illegitimate. It was held by out the court that no doubt evidence is applicable to Muslims, but it is not applicable to irregular marriage of Muslim.
Husband got married to his wife's sister, okay, which is irregular marriage. Therefore, child is also illegitimate. It is held by the Out Court that no doubt evidence is applicable to the Muslim, but is not applicable to the irregular marriage of Muslim. The reason is when he married and the child is conceived, at that time he is already having the 4 wives, and the conceived wife is fifth wife. That means it's a fasik marriage. When the fasik marriage would be there, I told you that this is not the rule of law, it is a substantial law. Acknowledgement is not the rule of law, it is a substantial law. Hence, the child will be illegitimate, irregular marriage, and Muslim, but it is not applicable to the regular marriage of Muslims. Yes. Okay, it will be applicable at that instance if he divorced one of the wife. Later on, she conceived it. At that instance, we can say when she conceived it, she is the legal wife because the marriage is a valid marriage. At the time, it is not a invalid marriage. I mean, fasik marriage, because when the child's mother was married at the time, he is having only the 3 wives because one he divorced already. Now, next one, read this case law in Abdul, yes, Rahman Kutti versus Aisha Bibi.
In Abdul Rahman Kutti versus Ayesha Baby, a child is begotten of a (112) of IEA cannot be invoked. It was held that for the application of Section 112 for IEA, that is, there must be a valid marriage and no such presumption of legitimacy of the child can be raised is not valid.
What is IEA?
Indian Evidence Act.
Very good. So, a child is begotten of a marriage which is invalid. The remedy of presumption under 112 of IEA cannot be invoked because IEA can be invoked only at that instant when the 280 days are there, and the begotten child would be there within the period it will be born, number 1, and there will be a marriage also will be prompt. It is held that for the application of the 112 of the Indian Evidence Act, that there must be a valid marriage, otherwise it will not be applicable, and no such presumption of legitimacy of the child can be raised. At that time, the presumption of the legitimacy cannot be raised over there because the marriage should be a valid marriage. Then only the 112 IEA will be applicable. So they say legitimacy of indirect proof of marriage, indirect proof, not the direct proof, okay. And by prolonged presumption of marriage, these are the 2 things are made. See, time immemorial they are living as an husband and wife. At the time, naturally acknowledgement will work. The prolonged and the continued cohabitation raises a presumption of the marriage, and once the marriage is presumed to be valid, children born of such marriage is also a legitimate children. See, they are living together, wife and husband. Of course, nobody saw whether they got married or not because they migrated from the other place. At that time, if the children is begotten to them, naturally will take that children as a legitimate children. Am I right?
Sir,
Yeah. So, do you think that wherever they go, they should conduct even marriage ceremony there so that the people will know that they are wife and husband?
no,
Yes. Tell me.
not needed, sir.
Not necessary. Wherever they go, they should not be proved that they are the wife and husband by conducting a small function to make the other people to know that we are the wife and husband. Okay, now in MD Bakar versus Sharfun Nisa, in a old case, a Privy Council said the legitimacy of the child of the Mohammedan parents may properly be presumed or inferred from the circumstances without proof, or at least without any direct proof of marriage between the parents of any formal act of legitimacy. So, there is no such a proof is there, and there is no even a, what I say, unproof also there. Not proof is also there, not direct proof or without proof. At that instance, acknowledgement definitely will work over there. But if the child conceived, it will be known to each and everybody that a child belongs to a particular person. At that time, the husband cannot acknowledge a child because everyone knows that the child is conceived by so and so person. So by acknowledgement of the child, what will happen? The acknowledgement of the paternity under the Muslim law is in the nature of the declaration by the father, and that the child is his legitimate offspring, and it is not a process of legitimating of an illegitimate child. It is not the process of illegitimate child to be making the legitimate. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So what is this? There is not a direct proof, and there is not even a without proof also. Not a indirect without proof, either direct proof or indirect proof. But they are living together, and at that instance, we can make it a legitimacy there, because the child born is a legitimate. Reason is they are married each other, not a union. Of course, the presumption I told you, the presumption says that if they are living together more than so, actually 7 years is enough. It is presumption that they are got married. Essential of the acknowledgement, unknown paternity. Yes, we don't know. Other than the acknowledger, there should be no father. A person who is claiming child must be son, should be of his legitimate father. The acknowledged by the acknowledger should be known to the child of another. Okay. Next, must not be illegitimate. Yes, the child which is acknowledged must be a legitimate child and not an outcome of adultery, zina, or of a void marriage. The process cannot be used for the legitimating of an illegitimate child. Legitimating of an illegitimate child, it is not the process, because the child should be legitimate and child should not be illegitimate. In the case law, in Sadiq Hussain Khan versus Hashim Ali Khan, Privy Council rejected the acknowledgement because the child which was acknowledged was born out of adultery. If the child is born out of the adultery, is clearly the rejection of the child acknowledgement by the Privy Council. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. In Rashid Ahmed versus Anisa Khatun, I repeat, in Rashid Ahmed versus Anisa Khatun, the child acknowledged was the issue of the marriage between the divorced people. See, they are the divorced people. The husband had repudiated the marriage in Talaqul Bidda, means TALAQ, TALAQ, TALAQ 3 times in a one stroke. And no intermediate marriage for divorce of a woman took place, means halal nikah was not there. The marriage was void. Because to make the marriage halal, I told you the process. Can you tell me the process? What is that process? To make the nikah halal? Yes? Anyone? Anyone? Or you say pass on?
If a husband has sexual intercourse with his wife between iddat, then their marriage will be.
I told you at least 3 or 4 times I told. Nikaya halal. If the divorced wife, if the divorced husband wants to marry the same woman, at that instance,
If the
yes,
if the divorced woman remarries another man,
yes.
and if she in that period, and after
No,
that
no.
yeah,
If you married the another man and having the BBC,
okay.
later on she can give the divorce to that man till the iddat period is over. Then she can marry the first husband who divorced her. That is called
And
halal
husband
nikah.
also should marry another wife,
No husband, only wife.
only wife.
Only wife, not husband should marry the another wife, get the divorce and come back. No. It is only the wife could marry another man, having the BBC. Later on, she can give the divorce and follow the that period. Then she can marry again the first man to who divorced her. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes. Let me go. So a child must verify it. Who is the child? The child who is acknowledged must not be known as a child of another. అరే వీడా అరే ఆ రంగస్వామి కొడుకు కదా వీడు వానికి పుట్టినోడు. Even such a thing known to each and everybody, no question of acknowledgement. The acknowledgement must not be repudiated by the acknowledged person. Once the acknowledgement is there, it will not be repeated by the acknowledged person. But one thing is very much kind. If it is known that the child is born to a so-and-so person, and such child cannot be acknowledged. Of course, under Muslim law, a person who has attained the age of a direction, discretion, which is the ability to understand the transaction, has a right to repudiate the acknowledgement. For the validity of the acknowledgement of the paternity is no confirmation of the person acknowledged is necessary. Suppose after a person getting the age of the majority, he can repudiate that such acknowledgement. It is a discretion given to the person who acknowledged, who has been acknowledged. That person will be given the chance when he attains the age of majority. Okay, nothing to rebut presumption here. And what is that? The age of acknowledger and the acknowledged person should be such that appear to be the father and child, at least 2.5 years, I told you. Senior to the person acknowledged, there must be adequate difference between their age. Of course, what is the effect of acknowledgement? Read this thing, effect of acknowledgement.
Effects of acknowledgement. Acknowledgement produces all the legal effect of a natural paternity and vests in the child the right of inheriting from the acknowledger. In the case of wife, which means the mother of an acknowledged son, it has the effect of giving her the status of legal wife and hence the right of maintenance and inheritance.
That means whatever the right given to the valid wife, automatically it will come to the acknowledged person, mother. And the person who was acknowledged in the process, that child will get the right of all, like inheritance and maintenance, as well as the other guardianship, etc. When the matter comes to the wife, she will get the maintenance and inheritance. These are the rights she will be entitled as if she is a married or valid wife. So a little provision will be given over there in the Muslim law, because mutabanna, adoption is not recognized under the Muslim law. Sir, if any wife and husband doesn't have the children, sir, what will happen, sir? No, sir, if there is no adoption. Yes. What is your idea? Give me. If you don't know, you say pass on. Anyone? Anyone?
Sir, voice is not audible, sir.
Okay, now it is audible. Suppose
Now,
the wife has husband, they don't have the issues. Either there may be have some fault in the wife or some fault in the husband. Now, what should they do? If there is a fault of a woman, she cannot produce the eggs. Her uterus is not up to the mark where it can keep the eggs alive till the BBC was done. At that instance, the husband can marry another woman, then conceive it, procreation it. Suppose if the husband is having some problem, then artificial insemination, any other process in order to what is the baby, tube baby,
Test tube baby.
Yes, that is a surrogate mother type marriage. Not marriage, it is a surrogation, surrogacy. They take the sperm from the other people and they will fertilize it outside, then they will insert it in the uterus. So this is another method they can make it out to see that the progeny would be there, means the successor should be there. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in the today class, and half of it is a repetition, but goes with the some case laws here. So acknowledgement is only in the Muslim law, and no other laws are there, because other laws are codified. Hindu Adoption and Succession Act is there, Christian Act is there, where the adoption is there, and the Parsi Act is there, specially made, and where also it is recognized and legalized adoption. So in the Muslim law, a provision is given over there to see that the child will be the legitimate if the father acknowledges it, provided the child is conceived in the wedlock, not out of wedlock. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with this, I have completed the thing of this acknowledgement. And in the unit 3, we studied yesterday class parentage, maternity, and paternity, and some part of the legitimacy. And in today's class, we have gone through some of the paternity, maternity, as well as the cases, decided cases. We studied it in today's class and the acknowledgement. And the tomorrow class, guardianship, I would like to start. Tomorrow class. So before you are coming to the class, you have to read what is guardian and who can be eligible for the guardian and the kinds of the guardian. Are you following me? See, which I highlighted it. Read, which I highlighted it.
Guardianship meaning, kinds of
signs
guardianship.
Removal of guardian, difference between Shia and Sunila.
Succession, that is actually here succession should not come over here. This succession should be the part of here. This succession should be a part of here. Yes, guardianship would be there, difference between the Shia and Sunni law regarding the guardianship. Because this is about the guardian, and here the Sunni and Shia law of succession, and this is the inheritance. Actually, we can say here, we have to put inheritance. This is the word, inheritance. We can make it out like that. Sunni and Shia law of the succession, doctrine of all is there, doctrine of rod is there, difference between the Sunni and Shia law. Very interesting, especially when you are dealing the Quranic versions, Quranic shares, and residuaries and distant kindred in the Sunni law, and we will see it. But tomorrow class we will go through the guardianship and the meaning of the guardian and the kinds of the guardianship, and removal of guardian, and the difference between the Shia and Sunni law in the guardianship, how it would be. So before coming to the class, please read the class, read, and so that let our class will be the participatory class rather than the sermon class. With this, I would like to wind up my today's class. Still, we do have 2 or 3 minutes. If you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Yes? Do you want to ask anything? Say yes or no. Sir, we could not hear your voice, sir. Is it? Is it? Could you hear my voice? Anyone? Are you hearing my voice?
Sir, voice is not.
Of course, of course. Oh, I will stop it because tomorrow we'll go through it and then stop sharing. And this is the end of the live meeting, end of the meeting for all.